All right, so are morning workouts really all they're cracked up to be? I'm more of a night owl myself, but when I saw this article you sent in with 13 potential benefits of morning workouts, even I was intrigued.
Well, it's interesting because while the absolute best time to work out really depends on the person, there's some pretty compelling evidence emerging that suggests that, getting those workouts in early does have some advantages.
Yeah, okay, so the first thing the article mentions is fewer distractions, which, let's face it, mornings are just quieter.
Yeah.
But is that really a reason to, drag myself out of bed?
It's more than just the peace and quiet, though. It's about, those productivity principles you always hear about, like
Yeah.
getting your most important task done before all the chaos of the day hits. So, in a way, it's like setting yourself up for success. And for people who like to exercise outdoors, beating the heat is a pretty big plus.
Oh, for sure, especially in the summer. Working out in the cool of the morning just makes a lot more sense. But, okay, this next one really surprised me. The article says that morning exercisers tend to make healthier food choices throughout the day. And it's not even because they were told to change their diet. It just sort of happened. Is that just a coincidence?
Potentially, but not necessarily. It could be a psychological thing
Hmm.
where if you start your day with a healthy habit, like a morning workout, it kind of sets a positive intention. And then that maybe, carries over into other decisions you make throughout the day. It's like one good choice can snowball into a whole day of healthier habits.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I'm starting to get curious now. What about this whole idea of increased alertness and energy? I feel like I've heard something about cortisol levels before, but I'll admit science was never my strong suit.
Right. So think of cortisol as like your wake up hormone. It naturally peaks in the morning. So when you work out in the morning, you're essentially riding that wave of energy. You're working with your body's natural rhythms instead of fighting against them.
Okay, that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
But, does that translate into actual focus throughout the day, or is that just like
Ah.
wishful thinking?
No, there's actually research to back that up. One study found that people who took a brisk walk in the morning and then, a few short walking breaks throughout the workday had better attention, visual learning, and even decision making.
Hold on, so you're saying a quick walk could mean I make better decisions all day?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm definitely listening now.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the topics that I think everyone's really interested in: mood and weight loss. The article mentions some promising studies, but are the results really as good as they sound?
Yeah, well, mood and weight loss are definitely big motivators. And while, more research is always being done, there are some really interesting findings. So, for instance, one study showed that the highest rate of fat burn happened when exercise was done before breakfast.
So you're saying fasted workouts are more effective for weight loss. That's a debate I've heard back and forth for years.
It's definitely a topic worth exploring further, but yeah, it does suggest that morning workouts might have a metabolic advantage when it comes to burning fat. And as for mood, we all know that exercise releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in the brain. But there's some research to suggest that morning workouts could actually give you a longer-lasting mood boost compared to workouts at other times of the day.
Okay, so potentially more alert, more focused, better at burning fat and in a better mood. I'm starting to see the appeal here. The article also mentions appetite control throughout the day. Seriously, I always thought that working out would just make me ravenous.
I know it seems counterintuitive, but some studies have actually found that morning workouts might increase the production of certain satiety hormones, which basically help you feel fuller for longer.
So less snacking and better choices overall. This is starting to sound like a win-win situation. Let's get a little more technical here. What about blood glucose and blood pressure? Those were mentioned in the article as well.
Those are definitely areas where exercise in general can have a significant impact. And morning workouts might offer some additional benefits. For example, there are studies showing that morning exercise can be really helpful for managing blood sugar levels, especially for people with type 1 diabetes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What about blood pressure? Does a morning workout have any impact there?
There's some research suggesting that working out in the morning might lead to more stable blood pressure throughout the day, which is obviously a good thing. But of course, this isn't medical advice. Always talk to your doctor about your individual health needs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sleep. I think a lot of people, myself included, worry that an early workout might actually mess up their sleep. But this article claims that the opposite is true. Is that really possible?
It's a common concern for sure, but studies have actually shown that morning exercise could lead to better sleep quality.
Seriously, I'm very skeptical, but go on.
It all comes down to your circadian rhythm, which is your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. So exercising, especially outdoors in the morning light, signals to your brain that it's time to be awake. And that can actually help you fall asleep more easily later on.
So you're saying a morning workout could help me fall asleep faster and sleep more soundly.
Mm.
Okay, now that is a game changer.
Yeah,
This is all really fascinating.
it is, isn't it? But before we get too carried away singing the praises of morning workouts, we should acknowledge that there are also some benefits to working out at other times of the day, too.
Right. We don't want to completely write off evening workouts. What are some of the advantages there?
Well, for one thing, your body temperature naturally peaks in the late afternoon or early evening. So you know your muscles are already warmed up and ready to go.
So if you're like an athlete training for a competition or something, maybe it does make more sense to work out later in the day when you're aiming for peak performance.
Exactly. And let's be honest, some people just have more energy and motivation to work out after work or school. It's just their natural rhythm. Plus, there's the social aspect. A lot of people find it easier to meet up with friends or workout buddies in the evening.
That's true. I know for me, sometimes having that accountability or a little friendly competition can really help me stick with my workout routine. So it sounds like there are pros and cons to both morning and evening workouts.
Absolutely. The most important thing is consistency rather than the specific time of day. The best time to work out is the time that you can actually stick with long term, the time that fits your lifestyle and, just your personal preferences.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I was starting to think I had to become a morning person overnight to get all those benefits.
Hmm.
But speaking of fitting workouts into your lifestyle, what about that whole pre and post workout fuel thing? The article talks about it briefly, but what are the essentials?
That's a great question. Making sure you're properly fueled is key for getting the most out of your workout and recovering properly. So before a morning workout, ideally you want a light meal or snack with some carbs and protein, just enough to give your body the energy it needs to perform.
Okay, so something like a banana with peanut butter, or a little oatmeal with berries, or maybe some Greek yogurt with fruit. Would those work?
Yeah, those are all great options. And then after your workout, you want to focus on replenishing those energy stores and helping your muscles recover. Again, carbs and protein are your friends.
So like a post-workout smoothie, or a turkey sandwich on whole grain bread, or even just more Greek yogurt with berries. I'm
Yay.
sensing a theme
I
here.
got it. And of course, hydration is crucial throughout the day, but especially before, during, and after exercise. But, everyone's body is different. It's really about finding what works best for you.
Okay, solid advice. This whole deep dive has really got me thinking about my approach to fitness. I'm actually feeling kind of inspired to try some morning workouts.
I love that. And remember, you don't have to go from 0 to 60 overnight. Just start by shifting your workout time a little earlier each week, even if it's just by 15 minutes.
Baby steps.
Hmm.
I like it. What are some other tips for those of us who might need a little extra help to become early birds?
Well, first things first, prioritize sleep. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you actually need enough rest to have the energy to get up and work out. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night.
You're telling me I'm definitely not at my best when I'm sleep deprived?
Hmm.
Any other words of wisdom?
Preparation is key. Lay out your workout clothes and anything else you might need the night before. That way you're not scrambling around half asleep in the morning.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I can definitely see myself tripping over things trying to get dressed in the dark.
We've all been there. And if you like to eat something before you work out, you can even prep your breakfast the night before too, like overnight oats or a smoothie pack or even just a hard-boiled egg. It'll save you time and energy in the morning.
Smart. I'm all about anything that streamlines my mornings. The article also mentions finding a workout buddy. Is that really necessary?
It can definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
Having someone to hold you accountable to share the experience with and maybe even add a little friendly competition can be a great motivator. Plus, working out with a friend is just more fun.
True. They say misery loves company, or maybe in this case it's more like shared joy. Speaking of joy, the article also emphasizes finding activities that you genuinely enjoy. You're preaching to the choir on that one. That's a big reason I haven't been a morning workout person. It's hard to find something I love to do at that hour.
It's so important. Life's too short to force yourself to do workouts you hate. So explore different options, try new things, and find what gets you excited to move your body, whether that's dancing, hiking, swimming, weightlifting, or something else entirely.
And it all goes back to consistency, right? If you
Mhm.
find something you love, you're way more likely to make it a regular part of your routine no matter what time of day it is.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on something kind of interesting. When we think about individual and community well-being, exercise plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It goes beyond just physical health. It's about mental, emotional, and even social well-being.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how much emphasis is placed on this idea of well-being, even by organizations in unexpected places. For instance, academicjobs.com, which is a platform for higher education careers, is a big advocate for exercise and overall health.
Wow, that's really interesting. I wouldn't necessarily have connected a job search platform with promoting physical activity. What makes them so passionate about it?
Well, their CEO, Gerard Kanize, really believes that a healthy and active lifestyle is fundamental to individual and community happiness, productivity, and cohesion.
That's a really holistic approach.
Yeah.
It makes sense that a company that cares about its users would also care about their overall well-being, even beyond just their careers. I really like that.
It just goes to show how interconnected all aspects of our lives really are. When we prioritize our health, it benefits not only ourselves, but also the people around us.
That's a powerful reminder. So whether we're hitting the gym before work or just finding ways to move throughout the day, it's all about creating a culture of well-being.
Well said. And who knows, maybe those morning workouts we've been discussing will be the catalyst for some positive change, both individually and within our communities.
I've got to say, as someone who's definitely hit that snooze button a few times, maybe more than a few times, this whole deep dive has really made me think differently about morning workouts.
Yeah. What was the most surprising thing for you?
I think, honestly, it's just how many potential benefits there are. Like, I always knew exercise was good for you, but I had no idea that working out specifically in the morning could have such a big impact on so many different areas of my life.
It's pretty amazing, right? How those benefits kind of ripple outward.
Yeah.
And
And while the science is super interesting for me, it's really about that feeling of like setting a positive tone for the whole day.
Yeah.
Like if I can start with a workout, it's almost like I'm making an investment in myself before all the craziness of the day starts.
I love that. That's such a great way to think about it. It's about making those conscious choices that really support your well-being. So for anyone listening who's maybe still on the fence about morning workouts, what advice would you give them?
Honestly, I just say don't knock it till you try it. Even if you're not a morning person at all, just experiment with a few early workouts and see how you feel. You know, Pay attention to your energy levels, your mood, how well you sleep, even your food choices throughout the day. You might be surprised at what you notice.
That's great advice. And it doesn't have to be about being perfect or like forcing yourself into some rigid routine. It's all about finding what works for you, listening to your body and making gradual, sustainable changes.
Exactly. And remember, the most important thing is consistency. Whether you choose to embrace the dawn or find your fitness groove later in the day, the key is to move your body regularly and find some joy in the process.
Well said. This has been such an insightful conversation, and I really hope our listeners feel empowered to make those informed choices about their own fitness journeys. And speaking of empowering choices, we have to give a shout out to academicjobs.com. They're doing such great work in the higher education space, and I was really impressed to learn about their commitment to well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. Their CEO, Jared Kanitze, believes that exercise and just being active should be a part of everyone's day, and that it really contributes to happiness, productivity, and a sense of community, both individually and collectively. It's so refreshing to see a company that values the whole person like that.
Totally agree. So whether you're already a morning workout enthusiast or you're just starting to think about incorporating them into your routine, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the motivation to make some positive changes. And remember, every step you take towards a healthier, happier you is a step worth celebrating.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of morning workouts. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving. And hey, if you're looking for a career that values well-being both individually and within the community, be sure to check out academicjobs.com. You might just find your dream job in higher education.